Dear ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to welcome you again to our Energy Forum 2021, which this year is a YouTube channel and a YouTube cluster. We continue to discuss the most important topics in the energy sector of the Baltic region, and the program and the event is presented to you by the Estonian Chamber of Commerce in Lithuania, the Polish-Lithuanian Chamber of Commerce in Lithuania, the PRIMUS law firm, and our dear partners of the Estonian Embassy, the Polish-Lithuanian Embassy, and the Finnish Embassy in Lithuania. The whole project is sponsored by ENEFIT, a major green energy producer in the Baltic region. And today we are continuing with discussions about electricity. In our previous programs, we have covered circular economy, we have covered a lot of gas, we have covered transmission systems, both of gas and electricity. We have covered the automotive sectors, solar sectors, and today we are continuing with production of energy, and our partner of discussion here today is the CEO of ENEFIT, an Estonian capital company, Mr. Hando Sutter, who is obviously a great expert in the area and has been leading the group of ENEFIT for many years. And ENEFIT is a major player in the Baltic market, having presence in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Finland, and Poland. And obviously, it's one of the main producers of electricity and other energy sources in the Baltic region. So the topic of today's discussion is journey to zero CO2 emissions in partnership with customers. Well, Mr. Sutter, what is the position of your company? Energy market currently is really hot. It's really red, essentially. All the energy prices have been growing, starting from gas to electricity to everything, essentially. So what is the impact of these new developments to your customers, to your company, especially in connection to a new launch of ENEFIT Green on the stock market, a very successful IPO in the Tallinn Nasdaq Stock Exchange? So what is your take on the situation? How does it impact your daily business?
Yeah, hello, Robert, and everybody else in Lithuania. Good to see you. It's through the internet this time, but still happy that this event takes place as traditional already. Yeah, the situation on energy markets is absolutely different than it used to be in the past, or especially last year. But also the economic situation is different. And if we remember 12 months ago, we had quite a bit of decline in GDP of every country, Lithuania included. And now we have a sharp increase, even to the higher level than prior to COVID restrictions. Then if we say that somebody had a view on this and could foresee such kind of sharp movements, then obviously not. And we can see that there are like core reactions of many supply chains, and including energy. So the energy consumption has been growing year on year remarkably this year in all the European markets, and we have some reasons why energy offering and cheaper energy offering is less than last year. Those are mostly coming from the nature reasons like water, wind, and all as a consequence, we are having very high energy prices. So if your question is that is it good for the energy company or bad, then simple answer, of course, is that when the prices are high, then this is good. But if we take a little bit more detailed look, then of course, when the energy prices are so volatile like they have been in last months and recent years, then it's not easy also for the energy companies. And obviously, we understand that if the prices of energy are unbearable for the customers, then any energy company also feels responsible for this, and we have to see what we can do. And as a solutions, of course, we have a shorter-term solutions and longer term or mid-term solutions. But very simple words, we need more energy production, energy offering, and as the cheapest power source today is wind energy, then as a very natural answer to this, what we need to do, we need more wind energy. And I'm happy to say that we are already today the biggest wind energy producer in the region, and we are also having a portfolio of the projects which are coming up, and we also have made 2 investment decisions already this year, and both of those wind parks are in Lithuania. So we are pretty happy with the investment climate in Lithuania and opportunities what are there in Lithuania. So those parks will be up and operational by 2023. And we are preparing some more investment decisions soon. So basically, the message is very clear from the market. The market needs more renewable power offering. So we all understand also, and Robert, you mentioned about our IPO, that all such developments are very, very much capital intense. So we need both equity and the loan capital. And recently we were running IPO of our renewable arm, ENEFIT Green. And this IPO turned out very successful in many ways, even I would say historical. And fact itself that we got extended amount very well oversubscribed, and especially high interest from the retail investors across the Baltic countries was more than we ever expected. We take it from one end as a big portion of credibility, but from the other hand also huge responsibility, because today we have 60,000 plus investors on board, and they have all given their 5 cents to support our journey to zero. And it's cool. I mean, it shows that people are on the same religion as we are. They believe that actually this transition is necessary, and that they are ready to contribute with their own investment to this journey. So welcome to any new investor, our investor, if some of you are on the line at the moment. And I will make sure that we will keep all our promises what we have been given to our shareholders.
Well, in fact, Eesti Energia Group, or ENEFIT, has always been a very well-managed group, and obviously has been, although a state-owned company up until recently, and still majority state-owned by the Estonian government, but has always been a very pro-business and pro-market market economy, let's say, player, and the policy and the philosophy of ENEFIT has always been, very pro-market and very modern and very, let's say, responding to the challenges of today's energy and market environment. And in connection to that, it's maybe a bit of a deviation from the previous question, but partly connected to that. But obviously, historically, ENEFIT and Eesti Energia has been producing most of its energy from the so-called oil shale or põlevkivi in Estonia, and obviously due to newest regulations and market situation, this fuel or source of fuel has to be phased out. And as you mentioned, the transition to renewable, to green, to wind, solar has to just take place, which is obviously a huge investment and a huge change in the whole culture of the company and everything. So how ENEFIT is coping with these challenges today?
Yeah, it's true that actually we all have our heritage and from where we are coming. And in Estonian case, and for all the Baltics, oil shale has been a very well serving source of energy for many, many years and decades even, I would say. And today, certainly, we are on the way to change, and we are still able to produce also power from the oil shale, but we are doing quite a small amount, so that basically around 50% of our power generation is renewable already. But the good news is that oil shale as a raw material actually is not as a coal or lignite. We can also produce oil out of the oil shale, and this oil can be used not only for the fuel as in American fuels as this is used today, but also input to the chemical industry. And oil chemistry actually is a quite developing area, and we don't see a good replacement to the oil in the chemistry in the coming years. And if we think the outcome of this chemistry, which is polymers or plastics basically, and then we have a big issue of waste plastic. And actually our technology is well suitable also to reproduce oil out of the plastic waste. Then we see that our promise, what we have been given, that we will end the oil shale usage in power generation entirely by 2030, and we will become carbon neutral by 2045, is also described. So the journey how we reach there, so that basically from the oil-based energy production, we are transferring to circular economy based chemistry industry, and we can use the knowledge what we're having and also most of the technologies what we're using currently. So this is our way, and I think that we are not in the beginning, we are somewhere on the middle already. As I said, that almost half of our power generation already is renewable, and our CO2 emission has been reduced by threefold in last 3 years. It's probably the fastest performance in across Europe.
It's a remarkable result, obviously, and obviously a very, very interesting time for you to lead the company in these changing environments, and obviously to affect all these radical and structural changes. Now turning back to renewables, which is essentially our topic of today. You mentioned that the cheapest and probably in a way most perspective energy source in the Baltic region is wind. We really do have a lot of wind in our countries, all year round, even in summertime. And the newest project of ENEFIT is the so-called offshore wind power park in the Gulf of Riga. So how is that project, evolving? Because obviously you are well aware that for many years there have been discussions about different offshore projects on the coast of Estonia, then off the coast of Klaipėda in Lithuania. So now it's Riga. So how is this project developing?
Yeah, I would even not say this is our newest project, because we have been involved into this project already since 2010. And projects with such a magnitude, they take time to prepare. And finally, when the turbines will be seen, then this is like top of the iceberg. You have to build it for many, many years to make it happen. And the offshore wind in Baltics has a great potential, obviously, and also the efficiency of those parks is better than onshore, and prices are reduced over the last years as technology is also developing very fast, and those turbines are becoming bigger. We are talking here today already 15 plus megawatt turbines, and the height of those blades are up to 270, 300 meters even. And the message is very clear. We need so much more green power. by 2030. So we have to do bigger steps. And we all know that when we take those steps onshore, would it be wind or solar, then we have many restrictions because onshore, actually, we are interfering with space, with the local citizens, a lot of the nature and so on. So if we want to go bigger scale, then offshore is offering good opportunities. So yeah, the project you mentioned, Robert, in the Gulf of Riga has been under preparation for a long. I think it is today far the most developed offshore project in the area. We are in a stage of EIA assessment, which should be completed in a couple of years, and then we are ready to apply a construction permit. So if things are going well and we have a bit of luck, then actually this park could be up and operational by 2028, which is pretty soon in energy terms, and this would generate around 4 terawatt-hour of green power, which is about half of the current Estonian power consumption, and actually gives also very good opportunities to generate hydrogen from the surplus generation or the lower prices times. And we hope very much actually that we can also have Ørsted on board, which is the world leading offshore generator, who has applied the permit in across the border area in Latvian waters, and wants to investigate this area and opportunities there to double up even this capacity. So this would be a really major achievement also for Latvia if almost the same size of the offshore will be Latvian waters, and in connected it can really cover up to 50% of the both countries' annual consumption. But saying that, we also following very close the developments with the Lithuanian offshore, and I would compliment actually Lithuanian stakeholders on the developing Lithuanian offshore initiative, and I think it has been very dedicated job, and the progress has been very good. So we keep our eye on this, and would not absolutely deny the chance that we will come to maybe insert our offer as well to develop offshore wind in Lithuania.
It's also an open possibility, so to say, because obviously in one of our interviews we had a representative of the Lithuanian TSO Litgrid, advertising this opportunity a lot, and obviously steps towards this development are also being taken for many years.
And actually also Lithuanian new energy strategy is very ambitious, and I like it very much because if it's driven by the government, and this ambition is clear and understandable. I have read it. So this also motivates and boosts actually investors to see how they can participate on this journey, and so we very much also consider ENEFIT as a Lithuanian company, as we are very well presented already in Lithuania, both on a retail and generation. Then if ambition is there by the government, we also want to be there.
But obviously, big developments, big new power plants, infrastructure developments, it's all very nice. But let's say a consumer might ask, what's it's all about? What's in it for me in that? Okay, you might spend millions of money in new developments, in infrastructure, but how do I as a consumer benefit from that? That is the general question. And I know that your company ENEFIT is taking steps to propose clients so-called very long-term fixed price agreements. So maybe you could tell more about that.
Yeah, we have defined actually what we see as a success of our company or competitive advantage, and our definition is that we have to be useful for the customer, providing comfortable energy services. So very clearly, we are defining ourselves on behalf of the customer. And we always check whatever we do that how this contributes to customer, how customer benefits. And therefore, even in this current situation where the energy prices are extremely high, and we very well understand all those customers who are contacting us and saying that those prices are unbearable and they can't afford it, to find out together the solutions, what we can do. And the one thing, as you mentioned, Robert, already, is that we started to offer this spring actually long-term wind park-based fixed contracts to our industrial customers. And this is very new in the Baltic markets because nobody has offered it before. And this has been extremely popular. We have sold almost up to 7 terawatt hours of power to around 700 customers across Baltics, and those contracts are 5 to 10 years, even long. And there are two motivators. First of all, as you mentioned, if you fix this price ahead, you will have a certainty, and this price is clearly much cheaper than the current price. But another thing is also that to any industry and any company, the declaration that they know from where the power is coming, it is green and local renewable power, it also makes a part of their image. So their customer also want to know it, how sustainable they are, and this has been also becoming more and more important across Baltic countries. So I am extremely thankful for this trust and the great step what we have made further. And this has been also, by the way, the key for our investment decisions for those new wind parks, because those parks are out of any governmental subsidies, but those are entirely invested against those long-term agreements. And I think that this is the good demonstration how we as an energy industry offering a new business model and let's say leading customers on sustainability together are creating basis of this green transition. So this is a fantastic thing, and this is how it should work, so that nobody can do it alone, but together we can do a lot actually. And now we also see how we can go down to smaller customers, even households, and we are already offering let's say solar generation as a service on a customer side. This we offer also to household customers, so that if you want to consume your own site produced power, we can install the power station to your consumption site, either to your roof or to a plot. So we have done it in many cases already this year. We have installed a few hundred of such solar parks in many countries. And again, if customer is not interested to invest by itself, then we can offer to build it and operate it on behalf of ENEFIT, and customer just will benefit from the power which is produced on his rooftop. And certainly the idea is that energy bill is lower than it is currently.
Okay, so obviously, you know, as you mentioned, for big industries internationally, you know, ability to show what type of energy you are consuming is a big element in the so-called ESG scores, or environmental social governance scores. And these ESG scores in turn, you know, decide the credit ratings of big international companies. In the Baltic region, this is probably not that, you know, developed yet, but this trend is also coming, so that, you know, big companies that are, you know, issuing their bonds into the market or otherwise, you know, participating in financial markets, have a very direct interest in being green energy consumers, you know. So This is not only a question of, let's say, PR, but it's a very, very tangible question of cost of financing for these companies now. So because ESG ratings or ESG scores are really very directly impacting the credit rating scores, in at least international markets today. I'm sure that in our Baltic region we will have the same trend and the same development very soon. We are already seeing some development in that area. Coming back to ENEFIT and your activities, you've mentioned several very interesting developments and initiatives in the area of renewable and let's say meeting the customer needs. But all this is not only say nice and easy promise to make. It's actually hard work and you have to let's say manage a lot of stakeholders in your daily activities and manage not only the customers, suppliers, prices and political influences, but also the more volatile markets. So how do you manage to still be that successful in such volatile environments? What is your kind of secret of business success?
Yeah, you are right that actually energy and especially big energy companies are 360 degrees with expectations from the stakeholders and the customers and the environmentalists and you name it. But what we have chosen that actually the clear mission and transparency are finally the success factors. So if we are saying out loud what we are doing, what we want to achieve, and we do it in a very, very transparent and professional way, then stakeholders will be more eager to support you. And would it be then any new wind park where we go prior to any planning process even to meet the local community and talk about our intentions, listen to their worries, and actually involve them, and then politicians who have clearly their own agenda, and we listen to them and then advise them with our expertise how they can reach to where they want to reach, or would it be the investors now, so that 60,000 investors clearly are with us because we have been extremely transparent how we are going to use or invest this money what we have raised from the IPO. And finally, the customers. If we say that we are on the behalf of the customer, even when the power prices are high, and we are very, very clearly and honestly looking at the ways how to be useful for the customer, how to reduce energy bill, how to involve the latest technologies, how to generate power by yourself, how to store it, how to manage the consumption flexibility on the customer side to the cheaper hours, and so on, then actually this will make us successful. So very clearly we have a goal which is public, where we want to go. We have a very, very transparent strategy, and we want to understand in every country, in every community, every village where we are working, what is the, let's say, local interest, what is the local worries, what is the local energy strategy. If we talk about Lithuania, to read it, to understand it, and then to make ourselves as a part of this journey, because if you understand the ambition locally, the worries locally, and make yourself as a part of the story, then this is a natural fit. So this is how we want to act and how we have been taking our steps, and so far it has been successful.
Talking about international activities or international expansion of ENEFIT. Well, ENEFIT obviously started in Estonia, but for many, many years you already a de facto international company. You have activities and market shares, significant market shares in Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Finland. So how is the even previously you had projects in Jordan and then Utah in USA. So how is the international kind of expansion and development going? What are your plans and next steps in this area?
Yeah, I guess that actually, if we go to Europe as a Baltic energy companies and we introduce ourselves, then we say that we are a small energy company and doing everything. So basically, this is how we introduce ourselves, and we have to understand that while we are pretty big here in our small countries, but in an international scale, we are pretty small. And in order to be successful, and success nowadays means capability to invest and invest a lot into new technologies, into new generation capacities, we need to grow and we need to be profitable. And therefore, covering just one of the Baltic countries is really very difficult to even sustain and grow. And therefore, going internationally is a key, actually. So why the Baltics and why Finland, Poland? I think that first of all, this is the area where we are having quite a common background. We understand this area pretty well. But also important is that in the energy world, this is the part of the world where we can implement the smart solutions, because this is the aim of all those countries. We can benefit from the usage of consumption data. Estonia first, 2016, but now Baltic countries, Finland and even Poland are following. And obviously, we have a common path to transition to renewable power. And the cultures are pretty similar if we compare ourselves with a bigger world. So that Finland, Baltics, and Poland all together, if we take in a means of energy market, is a quite a remarkable area. And we see many opportunities here still, but I don't exclude that we will also grow to some more markets when we feel that the time is right and we can add something to customers on those markets. So far we are having quite a lot, and I'm pretty happy, as you mentioned, that we have been growing, especially in Latvia, Lithuania, also Poland, very well over the last year, almost 50%, I would say, in the volumes. This is a remarkable job by our teams in Lithuania. We have a super professional and very motivated team, both in the retail and renewables. So. And also the trust from the customers, by the way, which is also not like taken as for the granted. The market opening in Lithuania, we have gained also quite a remarkable market share from there. And yeah, we will keep to work hard in order to still be beneficial, bring up new solutions to customers and stay on the customer side also in Lithuania.
Good news. Well, obviously our time of the interview is slowly coming to an end, but maybe you would like to say some, let's say, 3 main points why the customer should choose ENEFIT. Why not other competitors? Why ENEFIT?
Yeah, I mean, actually, this is a great thing that customer has a choice, and this choice has to be made carefully. But I always say that don't go for the last cent on the power price, but to see who is the counterparty, and is this counterparty really worried about your troubles, your interest, and your questions. And here I want to promise that ENEFIT is the partner. We are long-term partner. We are the partner who really wants to understand what is the interest of our customers. We want to be a partner on the journey to zero with our customers, so that this is not a journey to be afraid of, but to be brave really start from the first step. And if we go together in a professional way, then I can promise that this will be the winning story, not the losing story. The first will be more competitive and will be the winner. So we have been very, very clearly declaring to our customers that we want to be partners on this journey. And I think this is the main maybe differentiator from our competition, that sometimes we also lose on the tenders. Let's say we are not going to compete for the last cent in a short term, but we want to be long-term and reliable partner to all our customers in all the countries where we are represented.
So strategic shift in renewables, total focus on customers and customer needs, and full flexibility on the changing environment in the markets. That is the policy, I understand.
And maybe also the chance to be other side of the table as a shareholder. So this is also great to offer such kind of opportunity as a company, because it was a long time our dream, but now this is a reality, and many people even from inside the company are the shareholder, and many of our customers are the shareholders, myself as well. So this is also great to offer such kind of opportunity to be also in this way part on this journey, and now this is possible.
Now that you mentioned the ENEFIT Green and the public listing of ENEFIT Green, well, a lot of energy companies are, let's say so, by definition considered to be utilities, and by definition essentially considered or expected to pay dividends, rather high dividends, I would say, on the market, or higher than average dividends. So what is the, let's say, dividend policy, or what is the, let's say, policy or strategy on dividend payments in ENEFIT Green? Because you will have to make a lot of investments, which obviously will weigh heavily on the balance sheet.
Yeah, this is the strange case that you are right that we have declared that we are going to invest a lot, around 700 million in the coming years to new capacities. At the same time, we have promised that we will pay dividends, and dividends, 50% of our net income to dividends is not a low promise. So it works on the cash flow basis. We have made some overview or some prediction of our cash flow in prospectum as well. So we think it's doable. We think this company will be growing, will have a solid cash flows, and we will be able to fulfill the both promises to invest and pay dividends.
Great. So I mean that's really a good promise, from the CEO that shareholders of the company will get dividends, of course, provided that the business goes well, which is always the main, assumption of any development in any businesses. But with sound strategy and sound management and sound principles, I am sure that will be achieved, and that will be not only an empty promise, but a real deliverable in the coming years as well. So with that positive note, I would really like to thank you, dear Hando Sutter, for this interesting presentation and showing us the strategic directions of development of ENEFIT in the Baltic region and internationally. And I would also like to thank you for being a very good friend of our Energy Forum. You have actually been a speaker at each and every event of ours since the past 9 years. So you are really a veteran of our event, and really a very, very honorable and respected member. And with that, I would like to once again thank you for this presentation, and I would ask our viewers to subscribe to our channel, Energy Forum on YouTube, so that you would be notified and informed of all our newest developments and newest interviews. And next week we will have another distinguished speaker. Please stay tuned for the news, and I thank you for participation here today and wish you all the best in your daily activities and business lives. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you so much, Robert.
Bye. Thank you.